Greetings, friends. Prepare for another thrilling journey as we delve into Reddit's most bizarre tales. We're plunging deep into the quirkiest corners of the web. Grab your popcorn and join us on this adventure. Remember to hit subscribe and like. Let's begin. Our 7th anniversary is in 2 days. We have 2 sons, aged 5 and 2, and have generally had a happy and fulfilling marriage. I do most of the housework. We share childcare responsibilities fairly evenly, and we are generally aligned with our life goals. I love my wife and want to be with her for the rest of our lives. Our problems really started a few years after our first son was born. Our sex life predictably declined when our son was born, but as he approached 2 years old, I thought it was something we could rekindle, but we didn't. We had sex 6 times the following year, basically just on the required dates. I brought it up calmly as something important to me, but there was little change. Then we had a second child. When she decided it was time for that, magically our sex life improved for the few weeks required to get pregnant, and I let it go for a couple of years again. For context, I should mention that for the first 5 years of our relationship, we had a great sex life. And even now, when we do have sex, I think it's pretty good. We are both more concerned with each other's pleasure than our own. We try to make sure we take our time with foreplay, etc. About 3 months ago, I brought it up again. I said clearly, I don't want to live in a sexless marriage for the rest of my life. I hope this is something we can work on. I offered to go to couples therapy, to schedule date nights again, etc. She said we could work on it, and that was that. Not much changed. Then, a bunch of things happened. Her grandfather died. We've both been tremendously stressed with work. We had close family members move to town, which required a lot of time. I started a major bathroom renovation in the house at her request, which took a lot of time, etc. During this time, we both started to grow apart a bit because we just weren't taking the time to be close, and we could both feel the tension mounting. Last week, I addressed it. I affirmed that I still want to be married to her and love her, and asked her if she wanted to be married. She said she wasn't sure. She's concerned she may never be able to fulfill my need for physical intimacy because of what I'd said. She said she was waiting for me to come in with divorce papers, which couldn't be further from the truth. I recognized that the pressure, even if mentioned openly and calmly, put more pressure on her than intended, and I have since apologized profusely for making her feel that I was planning to leave. She even listed a few things she's thought about that might make us incompatible, which to me seem very easily fixable. We need to go do more things out in the world with the kids. We need to see our friends more, etc., which all feel like, hey, we've been stuck in a rut for a little bit. Let's work on changing that type of problems. As we've talked through it the last few days, she's focused on a moment from our honeymoon as the reason our sex life is broken. Essentially, we were drunk and fooling around a bit after lunch. She said she was tired and just wanted to take a nap. No biggie. I was still horny, so I went to take care of myself. She hopped out of bed, opened the bathroom door, and saw me masturbating to porn. This was never a stated breach of trust. We watch porn together and separately without issue. I have never and still have no issues with pornography, but she views this as a sign that she will never be enough for me. Now, as we talk, we'll always arrive back at that, and she'll talk about how you brought another woman into the relationship, regarding me one time masturbating to porn when she thought I shouldn't be. It all seems a little much, but I'm trying to be understanding. I even said I had no problem avoiding porn entirely at the moment, and reaffirmed a few times in our relationship, and she said, "No, it's fine. I know you don't have a problem. It's my thing to deal with." So now we're in this limbo period. I've been clear I want to work on our marriage, and she says she wants to, but is very concerned that I'll eventually get fed up with the lack of sex and leave her in a few years. I've made clear that I love her deeply, I love our life, and I have every intention to work on our relationship generally and save our marriage. She has said she is having a hard time committing because when I sat her down a few months ago and said I didn't want to live in a sexless marriage, it scared her and made her mentally start to prepare for divorce. She was honestly a little shocked when I said I wanted to stay married. I've even made clear that I've learned it really isn't sex that I'm in need of, but more just a loving touch and physical intimacy, which also fell off from her. She's also said she thinks with all of the issues in her life recently, she may be going through a bit of a midlife crisis. Our communication is good, and we talk this out about as much as we can, so I'm stuck waiting to see if she still wants to work on this or if we should divorce. When I ask her if I should start preparing to sell the house, sorting out our assets and custody, etc., she says, "No, that's crazy, of course not." However, I'm still stuck in this place where we're supposed to play house and pretend like we're happily married in public, but there's still this massive weight hanging over both of us, all waiting for her to decide if she wants to try. So, I just told her I'd give her some space and she can come back to me when she thinks she's ready to try again or when she decides it's time to divorce. Am I being unreasonable here? This feels to me very much like we hit a predictable point where we stopped prioritizing our marriage, drifted apart under some external pressure, and my timing/delivery on bringing up the sex conversation was not great, and it caused a bit of a rift. Now, I'm being treated like I cheated on her or did something heinously wrong to her, and I'm waiting to see if she'll take me back, and it all feels a bit unfair. She has to put in work here too, and somehow this has all shifted to the ways I've failed. I don't know if I'm looking for advice or if I just wanted to get this out of my head, but any insight or feedback is appreciated.